Addictions can leave once you realize how simple it is to do that. So if you're watching this video, then you must have a problem, some addiction, some habit that you want to break, and that you just don't want to have that any longer, and you just want to not have that interruption. I hear this quite a bit. Well, God's teaching me how to remove this, whether it could be anger, stress, depression, anxiety, whatever it may be, whatever the addiction, lust, partying, drugs, whatever the addiction is, and I'm getting better. God is a God that wants to remove it now. He's always in the now. He wants everything of the today, this second of you. Not, well, it'll take 48 hours, a week, a month, however long. The only reason why somebody ever has an addiction for a gradual period of time and it's slowly going away is the same way of counselors and therapists and things like that. They're doing different things. You're doing it by yourself without God being there, because there's a distinct difference when God's present in removing something versus you yourself. If you're removing something of addiction that you created, then it's going to be hard for you to remove that. But if you have this addiction and you let God take that addiction, well, He's taking it away. Cast all your burdens away. Giving Him your addictions, everything, is actually giving it. Not partial, not just a little bit, but giving it away. Meaning you don't have it no more. Meaning you're not going to be struggling on wanting to go back to your addiction any longer. That's the difference between you doing it yourself versus God doing it. Remember this: if anger, stress, depression, sadness, whatever it is, can come in your life with ease, then it can leave your life with ease. The only reason why we believe that it's going to be very difficult for it to leave is because we believe it's going to take a while for it to leave, because of what we see and hear. You don't have to learn how to get angry. It's just an emotion. If there's a situation happening, you're just going to get angry. Well, if you're not having to learn how to get angry, then why are you having to learn how to remove anger or whatever it is? You see, we don't have to create a big deal out of a small situation on how to remove something. This video is based on how to break habits, but I'm not going to teach you how to remove depression, how to remove this. What I'm going to be telling you in this video is to cast your burdens away, to cast all your habits and addictions away to where you don't have to deal with it any longer. I wrote this down a week ago. Me and him were talking about this specific subject, and I'm just now getting around to it, making a video. There's no need for another pastor or whatever to tell you that after a while your problem is going to leave, after a few sermons or after a few days. If you make your problem a big deal and you make the situation a lot bigger, it's gonna be a lot more difficult. For example, if Satan is so small you can step on him, but if you make Satan so big in your mind and you believe that he could just crush you as a Christian, that he can just stomp on you and you just can't get rid of these addictions or whatever, you're just always gonna have these problems and he just seems like he's just always in your head, always around you, then you made him appear bigger than he actually is. He's really not. All he's doing is he's known as the deceiver, meaning he's deceiving you, making you believe that he is this strong, powerful, spiritual thing, but in reality, he really is not. If you make him this little, all powerless, can't do anything, how do you do that? By giving your life to Christ, because then this will just be thrown, tossed away, and you don't have to worry about it ever again. And this is where your new life, where you think differently, you live differently, everything about you is different, because you made him small, and you made God big. Not that God was never big, but to some Christians, we limit God on what he can do in our lives, that it may take time for certain things, but in reality, God breaks out of whatever barrier you create in your mind of what God can do. We think too logically when it comes to these things, and we need to not think logically but spiritually. We tend to make things more difficult, but not trying to make them more difficult, but just thinking that it's just part of the process. There's no process when it comes to God. It's just change. So you are what you make of it. So God was saying, if it comes easy, it can go easy. The interesting thing that he talked about with me, I made a video about this yesterday, is Christianity is a lot easier without you. Meaning that without your negativity, Christianity would just flourish in your life. Because your mind and, you know, your flesh. It's not being corrupted by anything out in this world, but that Christianity without all the negativity will be as pure and as Jesus-like as possible. And how do you get rid of all negativity? By focusing on Jesus all the time, by being consistent with God all the time. And that'll remove everything, every single problem. The only reason why you feel like it takes time to remove an addiction is because Satan will lie to you just to prolong your problems for it to stay longer. You can only get a hold of a spiritual being when you're living in the spirit. So breaking a habit in less than 10 minutes is something that is done on your part with God, but not just done with you and only you, and keeping God in the back of your mind, thinking that God's doing and fixing the situation. But God wants to take it all away right now, this second. After this video, you can completely be no longer addicted to whatever it is. But that all depends on you. If you believe God can do that, then He can do that. If you don't believe He can do it, but it's going to take time, it'll take time for you, and you're going to be struggling with having to remove and have to deal with the process. I keep on saying this. If it comes easy, it can go easy. If it comes in a day, it can go in a day. One situation in life can get you depressed, and one God can remove that depression. No matter what it is, He can remove it. I hope this video helped you out on breaking your habits, your addictions, to focus on God and not focusing on your problems. Because focusing on your problems, on how to remove something, will only get you to focus on the actual problem. This video is all about focusing on Christ, and when you focus on Christ, then your problems will completely leave and you won't have to worry about them no more. If you try so hard not to do something wrong, you're just gonna do something wrong because it's constantly in your mind, and it'll just make you want to do it even more. So whatever problems you have, don't think about it, don't care about it. It doesn't mean anything. Focus on Christ. The second you feel like something's coming and you know that something bad is about to come, you pray. Prayer is so crucial in your walk with Christ. That is the #1 communication right there. Prayer. You need prayer in your life. When you pray to God when something is about to come, it stops it and it goes. You have the Spirit of Jesus in you. The God who split the sea, raised the dead, and cast out demons. You have that. There's no reason why we should limit God in any shape or form ever. Whatever box you put Him in, He is bigger than that. And if you're into music, you can watch my Messenger Music channel, where it's just 30 minutes of music straight, of praise and worship, motivation, relax and prayer, meditation, whatever it may be. It's there for you when you walk with Christ, when you want to just be in your room and just meditate, or in your prayers, or just have praise and worship with yourself, whatever it may be. And that channel is growing fast, so I really appreciate your support on that. But yeah, if you haven't subscribed to that channel, please do so. It definitely supports everything that I do. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Messenger out.